new number is... Please note, the new number is...
Welcome to the Game Closet. I'm Matt.
I'm Aaron.
And today we are reviewing Zombies by Twilight Creations.
Yeah, so basically you and the other players are trapped in a city during a zombie outbreak. You are exploring and trying to escape in a helicopter, and only one can survive.
Only be one. Setup is actually pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All you need to do is start off with the town center tile. It's the only tile you need on the board at the beginning.
You pick your particular favorite color for your character, and you get going. It's an interesting game mechanic because you're actually setting up the game board as you play, as you're drawing tiles. It's different streets and locations as you're moving through the town. So it's like you're exploring this town, and you build it and constructing your own path basically as you're going. So it really does cut down a lot on the game time. You do get dealt 3 cards that you're going to use that have items and different events that can affect you or the other players. Like I said, it takes like a minute to set things up. I mean, it's very, very straightforward in those terms. So that's pretty nice. So you start, you roll. It tells you how many spaces you can move. If there's zombies in your way, you're going to fight them. You roll dice to fight. There's little items you can pick up for health or bullets. Once you've gone through your movement, you can use one of your cards if the situation is right. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then you actually get to roll at the end of your turn, and it tells you how many zombies that you can actually move, which adds a nice little element of strategy, whether or not you're going to help yourself by getting stuff out of the way, hinder someone else by moving zombies into their area. So it adds a little hint of strategy into kind of a fairly straightforward game.
Yeah, I like it because you can be a little more cutthroat.
Yeah, and it does get pretty cutthroat towards the end as everyone's scrambling to get to the helipad once it shows up.
Yeah, it normally starts off, everyone's kind of doing their own thing, going their own routes, because you're basically, every turn you build your own path, so you're kind of doing your own thing for the most part, but towards the end, that's when the last roll where you start moving zombies, that's where it becomes really important.
Yeah, and especially because as you're moving through, you're going to get pretty spread out on the map. So when that helipad does come up, that placement, you could be way on the other side, having explored, maybe trying to get to one of the locations because of the cards, things like that. The good thing is though with that, you could be on the other side of the board and still end up winning just by the way it happened. I've had that experience where basically if you just looked at the map, I would have been in the worst position, losing basically, and then still won somehow.
So snuck up from behind.
That's what's nice about it.
We all forgot about him. Because we're like, whatever, that guy can't win. So we all like screwed each other over.
Yep.
And then he snuck up behind us.
And then again, that's what makes it awesome is that you're never really out of the game. So it
and then
keeps you going for it.
You also have the optional win. So the main win is to get to the helicopter first. But the optional is you can actually kill 25 zombies. And you can win that way, but that is hard. Yeah,
we've never had anybody win. I think we had somebody come close once, but that's pretty difficult. But hey, if that's what you want to do, you can go for it.
Go.
If you're really hardcore on that strategy, and I suppose what would help is if some of the cards, there's items that'll give you bonuses to attack and movement and things like that. But in order to unlock them, basically, or play them, you have to go to the location where you find them. So you don't just randomly find an axe, or you don't randomly find the skateboard. You have to actually go to the fire department, or actually go to the toy store, the sporting goods store, etc. So you can find yourself clear on the other side of the map on those things, so it doesn't really benefit you to have it, or just that location just never comes up since you're pulling away patience. The cards you're probably going to use more often are the ones that are actually kind of messing with other players, having extra zombies appear or clear out, etc. So.
Yeah, because honestly, I think the first couple times you played this game, I don't think any of us actually used the item cards.
Yeah.
But as you play more and you kind of become more familiar with the strategies of the game, you start using these cards a little more often.
Mm-hmm.
So they can add a good little twist, but sometimes I feel like it's just too situational that the chances of you actually being able to use the card is slim to none.
Okay, with that. But again, it's not gonna matter. Like I said, you can still win, come through the game without actually ever playing a card. But it might make life a little easier if it worked out. But it's nice to have that, but it's not gonna necessarily be.
I'd say it's got a pretty high replay value just because the map is always different, and you're always coming across 6 different locations and always in different orders. And it's just kind of fun to piece the map together as you're going.
Yeah, exactly. That is high replayability because of that. The map's not going to be the same every single time. I mean, obviously you're playing with tiles, but different formats, different layouts, etc. You just have to watch out that you're actually lining things up right. Kind of watch each other because it is easy to accidentally line up a open street to a tile with that runs up to a building, which is not allowed. So just little things like that you got to be careful of. But speaking overall, I would say it's a fun game. Length of time you're playing it, it's going to vary just depending on when things show up, when that helipad shows up, how many people you're playing with. So it's hard to give like an exact time, but you are going to enjoy it the whole time. You're not really going to notice. It never feels like it drags or anything like that. I have a lot of fun with this game, so I recommend it. It's all fun.
Yeah, I would agree. It is one of the more. It's weird because it's a good competitive game, but without like people getting really angry at one another.
Right.
Like you can still have a good amount of competition without the
nastiness that can sometimes come with that, which is nice.
Even when you lose, everyone still has a good amount of a chance to win. That you don't feel like you weren't doing anything the entire game. Because I played some games like that where it's like it's just no fun because you're just stuck. You're completely cut off the entire game. But you have freedom. You have really a lot of freedom in this game. So
yeah, very very straightforward, simple game, but a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. See you next time.